Motherfucker, I'm 2 for 2. Look at that. 2 weeks in a row, I'm the first one on. Usually I'm fucking strolling in and I'm the late guy.
Hey, not anymore. No more.
Can't be any worse than fucking Luke.
When's the last time you had one of these?
A fucking bang? Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, right? This is the first one I've drank in like 5-6 years.
Seriously? And purple's good, dude. I don't know. Some people are like, oh, I can't do purple shit. Dude, I love it. The Welch's Ghost.
Yeah.
Purple haze for bang. Like, yeah. I'm all about like that and like blue. Like blueberry, like blue raspberry stuff.
Yeah. Do you like the blue, was it blue raspberry Sour Patch Ghost?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that one's good.
I haven't tried the new one. Like, I think Luke has tried. I saw Luke post it. Have you had it? It's the peach one.
Oh yeah, the peach one. Yeah, it's very
Is it good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Is it better than the grape though?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No,
that's what I thought.
And that's just not the black in me talking. It's not. It's not. The grape is
fried chicken and fucking grape soda.
So I don't know if you've seen the I guess it's a meme, whatever, going around. Jesus. Who wins in a fight, 100 men or one gorilla? But I had in one of my other group chats today, this is what we debated for the last like 2 hours. It's brutal.
100 men or one gorilla?
To me, the answer is easy. I think it's 100 men.
I think it is easy.
Just by
if it was 10 guys, I'd say the gorilla. 100? Yeah, it's not happening.
Like, I don't think a gorilla has the stamina to just keep fighting off 100 dudes. Like, you think about the best trained UFC fighters, they are trained to be the best, have endurance, and they only last a couple rounds going full out. So
yeah, there's no way a fucking gorilla could last against 100 men.
No, I don't
see it happening.
I don't think so.
That's a slam dunk. That's easy.
It's yeah. But one of my friends was adamantly arguing that a gorilla could kill 100 men.
No fucking way.
We had to take it to Chat GPT. It said 100 men for sure. 100 times out of 100 times.
It's not even a question. Like, what was the logic behind it?
His logic was the gorilla's strength, its endurance, it has teeth. And I was like, bro, just based off of let's say the first 10 guys, 20 guys go in there and just sacrifice themselves and get fucked up. That gorilla's exhausted. The next 20, 40 guys are just going to pile on top of it. And then the rest of the guys, if anything, they could just suffocate it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If the number was low, like if you gave it like 20 men, I would probably say gorilla.
Yeah.
100? Nah, not a fucking chance.
Yeah. Let's say 100.
It's blowing its load after 40.
That's what I'm thinking. But
yeah, not even a question.
Figured I'd ask that question. Maybe I'll ask again when Chris comes on because I'm sure he'll have a in-depth answer.
He'll have a theory behind it of why the gorilla's going to win.
Yeah.
It's good seeing the two of you guys yesterday, though.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Even for a quick minute.
Yeah. We you know what we should really do is we should get like Luke fucking moves here soon, but like the whole pod to like, or the majority of the pod to get a lift in together at the same gym at some point.
Yeah, go to Connecticut or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Dude, I'm in for that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm in for a road trip.
That'd make for a fun Saturday or something like that.
I'm free this weekend.
This coming weekend?
Yeah. I don't know what you guys got going on.
I have to ask Shay. I never know. I have to ask her.
Yeah. She makes all the plans.
Yeah. I could say, yeah, we're coming down this weekend. Then she'll be like, oh, you didn't remember? We have to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
Be an asshole. But when did Luke say he was moving to Texas? Like mid-May or something like that?
I want to say maybe right around there, the end of the month in May. I thought he said last week it was like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So it might be the end of May then.
Oh. Man, he's lucky. Oh, to be young.
I'm so fucking jealous.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
This cat is like attached to me today.
If I was 25 years old again, like I would have been in Texas already. Like no question.
Without a doubt, dude.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I had this conversation. The funny part is, dude, I had this conversation with my brother last week. I'm like, I fucking hate you. Because guess where he's living now?
He's in Texas?
No, he's in Florida.
Oh shit.
Like I want to say it was right before Addison was born, and he was supposed like maybe like 10 and a half, 11 years ago. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, I'm going to move. I'm still young. I can do this now. I'll go down there, enjoy life. Like, it's nice down there. I don't have to deal with the winters. I have no attachments up here. And then brother's like, oh, don't run away from your fucking problems and move down to Florida and everything like that. And then, no joke, 3 years ago, what does he do? Oh, I'm moving to Florida. I'm like, you're a fucking asshole, dude. I'm like, I can't go anywhere now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, unless baby mama wants to go, like, unfortunately,
yep.
I got to stick around here. I mean, I got to, like, there's no way I'd be able to, like, maybe once Addison's maybe like 15, I could move somewhere and then just fly her in every other weekend. But
yeah,
I think like her being 9 years old right now, it's a crucial time in her life. Like she needs people in her life, including her father. So it's like, I'm not going to just up and like abandon her. I've known plenty of people that do that. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that.
Yeah. We told Quinn once we bought this house that we weren't moving again. So we're stuck here.
Like, at least until he's 18, then we're out.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan. Yeah. Once he's 18, we're gonna.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So I got my best friend, who's the best man at my wedding. He's over right now, hanging out, and Ashland's at a work event that I got to go to in about an hour. So
nice.
Yeah.
Is it a dress-up work event?
No.
Oh.
I would fucking pay to see him in a suit and tux right now.
Dude, he was in a suit and tux on the wedding, right? That is.
Yeah, one of my other good friends got married. Yeah, so I got a nice gray suit, and we actually were at the Black Tux at the Natick Mall today. So like my two best friends, we went there to get them fitted and set up, so they can do their shit.
Do you guys own any suits or do you rent them?
Oh, I own one, and then my suit for my wedding. I'll be owning that one too, because that one's like just fully custom. It was fucking most expensive piece of clothing I ever bought in my life.
Heck yeah.
I had Christopher Cuozo design my wedding suit.
Who's that?
He's out of Boston, very successful businessman. Like a lot of the people in the Trump administration, he's doing all their clothes for, like all their suits and stuff. So he's been doing that and super successful. But he has like really top-notch fabric.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like my suit is water resistant, stain resistant, and I can do full range squats in it if I wanted to.
Jesus,
that's worth the money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. So I got a burgundy suit.
That's sick.
So
yeah.
Yep.
Let's go look sharp.
Oh yeah. The fucking money I spent on it. It'll be lined with like gold or adamantium or something.
Yeah. The last wedding I was in, I rented the suit and like, dude, I was scared. I couldn't even put my own shoes on. I was so scared I was going to blow the pants out.
Oh my
I had to get other people to put the shit sitting down, all of it. I was terrified.
Well, yeah, you're like 280, 290 pounds in the off season. Like I can only imagine.
Yeah. Split that shit right in half.
Yep. I got a couple good questions tonight.
Oh no, you gotta do the question we just did. Yeah, I want to see what Chris says.
Chris, I don't know if you've seen it today, but in the last like 24 hours, this whole meme's been going around questioning amongst friend groups who wins in a fight, 100 men or one male silverback gorilla.
All right. First off, thinking if 100 men could not overthrow one silverback gorilla, then you're not you guys aren't men. Like fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Granted, they're strong and stuff. You know, I'm gonna go with the 100 men.
Yes, I think that's the correct answer as well.
There's no fucking way, unless like the 100 men are all a bunch of retards.
Yeah,
They're all like wheelchairs. Like there's no way that 100 dudes can't just jump this one gorilla and just like stomp them out. Like come on.
Yeah, I don't care that a gorilla's that much stronger. It's 100 men. Like I was telling Brendan, the best UFC fighters, right? They get trained to last rounds. The best trained UFC fighters still aren't lasting more than 15 minutes straight of all out, like, aggression.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like what you were saying, like if there's 20 men, I'd give it to the gorilla.
Yeah.
100, you're a fucking pussy if you guys can't take that shit out.
It's just numbers. It's a numbers game.
Right up.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure like first, like the only problem is who's going to be like the cannon fodder, who's going to be like the first wave, because then they run in there and it's like, okay, once that gorilla's got his hands on one or two guys, like now his hands are like tied up. I mean, granted, he can still use his feet, but everyone else just surrounds him and jumps on him and just like fucking like gouge his eyes out, like choke him out.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Here's a good one. One silverback gorilla or 20 open men bodybuilders.
Oh shit. We're so
now you're on a fine line. Now you're on the thin line.
Unless like we can get a few people to get their hands on them, but we're probably still gonna get outweighed by like the average bodybuilder is probably gonna be outweighed by the average silverback because they're pretty big. Their weight, that one silverback is probably get the strength of still 10 of us.
Yeah.
They're strong. I mean,
20 though. See, it makes you think now.
Now, what if we all take Halo right before the fight?
we all
or you inject the gorilla with fucking Tren.
We all do like a couple of lines, smoke some meth, and then take like 100 milligrams of Halo.
Yeah.
Or buddy, all the bodybuilders just take some PCP, so we just don't feel pain.
There it is. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure our endurance would go to shit.
Yeah. I mean, we got maybe 10 good minutes.
Yeah. I think if a few bodybuilders, those guys got like able to tackle that girl, like one got one gorilla's leg, the other one got another. Like think of 20 beef stew, like just running at the gorilla. Like you grab one arm, got one arm, like if five played it right,
Yeah.
Plus, it's not like the other thing too is like I'd be more scared of 20 bodybuilders trying to fight a friggin' lion than the gorilla.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
for sure.
the lion's built for speed. They're instinctual to hunt. They've got claws, teeth. Like the gorilla's good for defensive purposes. But I mean that the 20 bodybuilders, I think, has a chance.
I think we have a chance too, especially on the Halo.
Oh yeah,
especially on the Halo.
Absolutely,
game changer.
The second thing, well, I guess now we'll talk real bodybuilding shit. Did you hear Dan Solomon saying that he eventually wants to have the Olympia in a stadium?
I saw like a clip of it.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think that'd be really cool if every bodybuilder have their own special entrance. Like you go like the Ultimate Warrior would run down and shake the ropes.
Yes.
It'd be cool if you could all have your own cool personalized entrance. Like someone comes down in a helicopter, just levitating down, just unclips himself.
How come guys don't do that in their posing routines much? You remember when Ronnie came out in the king garbs
because for the most part, props are, I think, banned.
Oh,
props are banned.
Didn't they take them out?
You can't do that. Like for the longest time, I wanted to do the Cutler, and I wanted to sit in a radio flyer wagon, like one of those little red wagons, and I wanted Jay Cutler to just wheel me out on stage for my posing routine, and I'm just sitting there like a little angry kid, and then I just get up and start doing my routine.
No shit.
Yeah, but the OCB, I think they
Yeah, wow.
still
They still
yeah. Because there was one time, you guys ever play Final Fantasy VII at all?
Yes.
So you know the One Winged Angel song when you're fighting Sephiroth at the end? It's like dun
No.
dun dun.
Oh yeah.
There was a kid. There was a kid that posed to that song, and he was literally just swinging around a 6-foot greatsword on stage. That was his routine.
That's pretty badass, honestly.
Yeah, but the kid's physique was shit.
I
I mean, it would have been
like,
cool.
man, you killed the posing, but you look like dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was in the OCB, there was one guy, I remember he painted himself green like the Hulk, and he had like Hulk hands and a mask. And he just came out and like hit most musculars. And then there was another guy who hit this beautiful, like absolutely like perfect choreographed posing routine. And the guy who came out and Hulk smashed everything won best poser.
Yeah, there was another guy that remember that song like "I Can Transform You" by Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
back in the day. So there was a guy that came out to that song and he painted himself blue and red and wore the Optimus Prime helmet, and he posed to that. And
that's
you
dope.
know, yeah. The problem is that some of those people that come out with their posing routines, they do some weird stuff. Like remember that old like YouTube video where it was like a kid saying "I love cat." And he had like little like plushy cat toys in the video. There was a kid that it was so stupid. A guy, grown man, came out and had like pink plushy cats. It was like, I got cats. It was dancing around. I'm like, dude, and I got mad at that because that's not bodybuilding. That's like some bullshit. You just run around with your bullshit on stage. I've had a lot of cat meat today, so I'm a little.
What's up, fellas?
Guys. Yeah.
What up, bud?
What's
Duke,
going on?
what's up, buddy?
How you feeling?
As good as I'm gonna feel. But I don't feel bad. I don't feel too bad.
That's what's up.
Hanging
Yeah,
in.
you get to
Look
do
at
this. You're one of the
the sacrifice of Doug. He pulls over on the side of the highway to get on the pod.
Man, look here. I had to bust a move real quick. I'm headed back to the crib. I'm forgetting about the times. Like, time's moving too fast.
Dougie, I gotta admit that when you were first pulling out and backing up, the way the picture looked like on my computer screen, it looked like the background was not even there. It was just green screen, like CGI. And I'm like, wait, is he like in a movie?
Oh, did you guys
ask Doug about the gorilla?
Okay, we'll ask everybody. So the thing that's going around Instagram right now, or at least parts of Instagram, is who do you think wins in a fight? 100 men or one silverback gorilla?
So 100 men versus one silverback gorilla?
Yeah.
The gorilla.
Really?
Woo.
Yeah, man. Them things is fucking. They could just. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Once 98, 99 people see limbs getting ripped off, they're running.
Okay, that's fair.
They're
that
running.
is fair. But what if it's like you have to fight no matter what? Like it's like either the gorilla dies or you all die. Like you need to support this team.
This is a fucking coincidence. I swear to God, that was not fucking planned.
I can see a scenario where it may be possible if everybody's able to jump on it at once.
Yeah.
But a gorilla, I mean, you guys ever seen what a chimpanzee has done to a human being?
Oh yeah.
Fucked up.
So a chimpanzee is way smaller than a gorilla.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
there's 100 people.
But what kind of men are we talking about? Because in today's world,
man,
it matters.
You know what? Let's say like
I read half of them are trannies.
They're gonna be yelling at the gorilla like, did you just misgender me? The gorilla just went.
Excuse me, I'm a he, she, he.
Man, that
the gorilla at that point is like, nah, you're my bitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think that in the right scenario, 100 men should be able to take out a gorilla. I just know once if I see a gorilla grab a guy by his arms and rip him off, I'm running.
Doug's like, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm cool. I want no parts of that.
That shit would be shocking to see. Like you just see your homie run up on the gorilla and he just grabs him and just like pops his
I
arm
don't know
off.
how people are brave enough to even go around them in the wild. Like that's some shit that I don't want to see in person. Like I don't want to be that close to anything that can rip me apart.
That's a fact.
Doug can just bring his big ass fucking kickball, kick that thing right at the gorilla's head. He goes down, and then everyone else takes him out.
Man, that motherfucking gorilla be mad as shit.
You guys ever see those videos of like people just getting too close to wild animals?
Yes.
And then the wild animals just does what wild animal does and fuck them up.
Like my feed is full of like gator versus like lion or something like that, or just like them eating the shit out of each other. Like it's
I like watching
on my feed.
I like watching the videos of just like house cats just like tripping toddlers and they just like eat shit. Because it is kind of cute, you know, the cat's trying to play and hopping around. Or like when you see like a ram like just literally just bulldozing through somebody.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff be popping up on my feed. I be sometimes whenever I see certain things, I'll share it. It's like, you ever see that one guy who had the camera and the bear's running at him, and then he ran at the bear to try to scream at it and freaking get it to run away? It worked, but I wouldn't have did that. I would have shit my pants. If I see a bear running at me, I'm playing dead.
Did you ever see that one video where like all these like white dudes are just shit faced like camping, and then a huge ass like brown bear comes up?
I think I've seen that video you're talking about.
Yeah, and he makes it a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and like the bear tries to reach for it, and the guy bops him on that. He goes, "No, you can wait till I'm done making it." Then literally eats it, and it's sitting on the picnic table with them.
That's crazy.
That would have been me. I would have tried to like ride the bear and been like, "All right, let's go."
Doug sometimes posts these crazy videos of like people like hang gliding and then they fall out of their hang glider and shit.
Yeah. I don't know where people get this not fear of death thing when you're doing death defying shit. But that's like I wanna try skydiving, but I don't think I can muster up the strength to jump out of a plane.
Yeah, jump out of a perfectly good
like,
plane.
Unless I want to kill myself, which I don't want to do, I don't see myself ever trying to do something like that.
Plus, you can only do it in prep, big dog. The weight limit's like 230 or something.
Yeah, it's like 230 or 240. So
that's the fact. Even in the water, like I went to a water park last year. It's like every year I get faster and faster going down them slides, and my buoyancy is I no longer float. I go straight to the bottom.
Yeah.
Back in COVID, I was up at Lake George, up near the Adirondack Mountains in New York, and we rented this boat and we took it out to this one spot, and me and my friend we went cliff jumping, and I used to do it all the time. I jumped in the Quincy quarries and shit. You know, and the highest I ever jumped when I was much smaller, I did 100 feet. I had to throw a huge rock off to break the water. I jumped 50 feet off this ledge, and I was about 240 pounds.
Oh, yeah,
when I hit that goddamn water, I'm like, never again. I'm like, that fucking hurt. I'm like, that.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Way too much.
You've done shit like that too. Done shit. Yeah. I jumped off like 150-foot build a power plant with barbed wire around the edge. So I jumped up and out and over into, and like when you jump, you have to make sure you jump far enough, because if you don't, there's fucking plant has water propellers underneath, like probably about like 30 feet underneath the water. So you have to wait till you have to do a perfect timing too. So you got to jump off the building, clear the barbed wire, and then make sure that the fucking rotors aren't like spinning. So you got to jump out far enough.
Wait, why the fuck did you do this?
What's wrong with you?
We're fucked.
That's crazy.
I mean, I've done some fucked up shit, but I'm not about to get propped in the left.
Yeah, so back to we were talking about Dan Solomon had said eventually wants the Olympia in a stadium. We were talking about whether that was like a good idea or a bad idea.
Like what like when he says a stadium, like a sports stadium?
I think he means like a sports stadium.
I don't think it's gonna sell out. That's the problem.
No.
Yeah. Especially as much as they charge at the Olympia. You guys know how much some tickets cost?
Yeah.
Trust me.
I got tickets once for the 2021 Olympia when I was there, and them tickets were like $1,500. I just got some good ones. I mean, granted, I got them donated from High Tech, so I didn't have to pay like the full price because we had High Tech's like the #1 sponsor for the Olympia, so we got a break. But still, like imagine the Olympia being held at like Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
They would definitely, if they did it at a venue like that, they'd have to lower the prices for sure in order to fulfill try and fill the seats out.
Yeah, because to get more people in those seats, like a regular fan ain't paying that much. You know, like
you have to charge like $100 for like nosebleeds.
Yeah, like the average person.
At that point, it still sucks to sit that far back, and it's like you know, I mean, maybe if you want to have it at like an opera house where you can sit up on those box seats with the little like gold binoculars and like look, like oh, you can see the striations like clear from up here, you know, like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I feel like it takes away the, you know, like the intimacy, like between the fans and like the bodybuilders that are on stage. I mean, like every, you know, like the bikini and class.
Yeah, I like the auditorium. I like the auditorium settings much better.
I do too. You have a connection more with the fan base. They're more involved in it. You start moving it to a bigger venue, and I just think you're gonna wash it out.
Yeah.
Hey Doug, when you make it to the Olympia, do they like pay for any tickets for you for like immediate family or anything like that?
Yeah, so I was able to get 2 complimentary tickets, and they basically paid for my flight and my stay for the Olympia. So I paid for my flight and my hotel, but they gave me that money back.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that was definitely dope. And then of course you get the Olympia jacket, you know what I'm saying? All of the Olympia memorabilia. It was definitely an incredible experience, you know what I'm saying? Like just being there and like seeing how backstage is, and you know, it's something I'll never forget. Like that's one of those things where I'm at that age now where I'm more excited about experiences than material things.
Yeah.
You know, like that's something I can tell my grandkids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were one of a very few that ever made it to the Olympia stage.
Yeah, and I won, you know, so when I went, you couldn't go by points. That shit was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And no knock on anybody who made it on points. That's still respectable. I would, if it was still around and I made enough points to go and I was allowed to go, I would go. You know what I'm saying?
You probably see more people doing, you know, loading up on shows.
Yeah.
Because now that the point system's gone, you're only seeing people just like, if they come in 5th place, they're just like, yeah, it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to shelf it for the next year.
I always had a lot of respect for the guys that qualified on points because they had to do so many shows.
Yeah.
You know, they put their body through extended preps, you know, like that. I mean, I think that's a grind. I mean, I still think that's pretty cool. I like the fact that they got rid of the point system though, because then you're going to have all these bigger names that are in all these other shows.
Yeah, and it kind of watered it down a little bit, only from the aspect is, you know, there was just too many competitors. And once you have more than 16 competitors, you only get T16.
Yeah.
Yep.
I definitely think they need to figure out something for like bikini classic men's physique because it's becoming it's a shit show. So I think like they need to do like a pre-qualification for the Olympia, and to just maybe only let 20 of those athletes in from each category.
Yeah, well, there's so many men's physique, bikini, and wellness shows like by themselves. Yeah, and it's just there's not a lot of shows for like the 212 guys compared to men's physique. You know, classic.
They still getting rid of. Yeah, man. Like the 212 shows is like, I mean, you guys see Kirith is bumping up to the Open now. You know what I'm saying? This will be my last year in the 212. You know, I'd rather just let my body grow. I mean, and compete in the Open. And you don't even have to compete in the United States. That's the one thing I love too. I could go compete anywhere I want. I got an open show.
Yeah, for sure. What was I gonna say? It was about the Olympia. Oh, for Pittsburgh, did you see that Sam Sulek is jumping in classic physique?
No, he's not.
I thought he was just coming as
a
special guest.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's just coming as a special guest.
Okay.
That would make sense. Him jumping in right now is, come on.
Yeah. Disregard what I said then. He is only coming as a guest.
Goddamn, Mike, spreading fucking rumors.
Disinformation. Put the fact checker on the ass.
At the way it's looking right now, this is going to be one of the biggest shows in the States.
Of the year.
Yeah.
It's looking like, you know, there are a lot of people coming.
Somebody said Kennedy jumped into Pittsburgh. Is that true?
Who?
Not from what I know.
I didn't.
Not from what I know. I thought he was doing New York, but somebody had.
I know he's doing Legion after, but.
Oh yeah, I think it was Fuad that says he jumped into fucking Pittsburgh, and I'm like, I don't think he did. I think he was just doing New York start. Yeah. But man, the way he looks, he's gonna be a fucking problem.
Yeah, he is.
That's for sure.
Nick Walker looks awesome. Those pictures I saw
looks unreal.
Yeah,
I think he
looks phenomenal. That back double bicep was tremendous.
I think he can beat Derek.
That'd be a good battle. I want to see Derek, Nick, and Martin. I want to see him. You know,
don't forget about Chris though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing that show. That's right. I forgot.
And that motherfucker, you seen him lately?
Yeah, but he's just weak from the backside compared to the other three.
Yeah.
Like he's going to look good in the front, maybe some of the side shots.
Yeah.
And then my problem with Crizzo is that his posing is just needs still a lot of work.
Yeah.
I feel like his posing is along with like good vetoes. They just need to tighten it up, man. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we've answered this question like kind of ad nauseum, but maybe we can be a little more detailed. So I had a person ask, they put together a good base amount of muscle. They've been natural for 3 years, training really hard, and they want to take it to the next level. And they want to know how to start and where to start with performance-enhancing drugs. What do you guys think?
So,
that's what they look like.
You know what's interesting? I'm glad that you asked that. I just picked up a young client, 19 years old, and I'm glad that I got to talk to him before he started doing some crazy stuff. Most people, what they need to realize is when you're running PEDs, you're experimenting with your body.
Yep.
So my advice is always start off with one thing, take notes, and see how your body reacts and responds to whatever you decide. But also making sure that you have someone knowledgeable you're working with. Like doing things blindly, running off somebody else's protocol, that's very dangerous. And you guys hear me say it all the time. That's why I don't ever put mine out there, because I've had conversations with young kids who start running protocols because they hear someone else's protocol.
So stupid. Your body's completely different than everyone.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I remember trying a compound and it gave me really bad pip. I loved it. I loved the way it made me look. I loved the way it made me feel, but where I would pin would feel like hard as a rock. It would be really tender, and it was just hard for me to train. So I stopped it, right? But I was able to know what it was because I don't do a whole bunch of shit, you know? So for somebody who's new, first thing you got to do is get your blood work. You need your medical history. You need to know what your family's medical history is before you even go down that line of experimenting with your body. You know, have a doctor that you can communicate with. I communicate with mine. A doctor isn't supposed to tell you what to do. Their job is to advise you and give you their opinions and advice. And that was something my dad told me when I decided I wanted to start using gear. You know, don't lie to your doctor, because your doctor should be the one that gives you good advice. And I would say start with one compound, and you start slow.
Yeah.
Because depending on how old you are, you know, it's like these young dudes who's 19, 20 years old saying, "Oh, I'm on TRT." How are you on TRT and your test levels aren't low? That's not TRT.
You're not.
Yeah.
Well, the problem,
I would strongly recommend, especially if they have blood work and they're like their levels are already at 700 to 1,000.
Yeah.
It's a matter of probably a food issue.
Yep.
Pumping the food up, making sure that they can hit their max potential food wise and like natural wise. Like,
Yep.
then once you hit that plateau, that's a road that you can go down. But
Yep.
you can't. It's far few and in between. Maybe like 5 to 10% we're talking that actually have an issue that are 19 to 21 years old that actually need the testosterone as a replacement because their hormones are all fucked up.
Yeah.
But you can't be that 90% that's just going to be like, I'm not eating right. I train like shit, and I'm just going to jump on gear to fix the problem, because that doesn't work. You need to, all your shit needs to be in line. And just like Doug said, you need to do your blood work, make sure everything's set up properly before you jump on anything, and only do one thing at a time to begin with. That way you know how your body's going to adapt to it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in line with the rest of you guys. I was going to say that, you know, make sure that food, training, and prioritizing sleep and recovery has been standards in your training for however long that you've been doing it before, you know, especially, you know, if you're natural. Second, you know, at that point, you definitely want to get blood work done. And like you guys were saying, if your test levels are 800, 700, 1,000, right, you're not going to need that much at all your first run. My big thing is try to get the most out of the least.
Facts.
As long as you can. Because the problem is these kids that are running these super high dosed, you know, cycles, they're having an androgen load of like 1,500 milligrams plus a week.
Yeah.
And you're sub 200 pounds. The problem is that when you get older, you're going to have to run a lot of that same dosage to get the same.
Body's going to
what you're doing is over that time frame, you're getting your body used to a higher dose and longer exposure of androgen load, and that's when you can run into the side effects. So someone, let's say, and again, always consult your doctor before doing this. This is just us with ideas, you know, it's like a case study or whatever. But someone who's got, let's say, 900, 1,000 nanograms per deciliter natural testosterone levels, right? Let's say all the other blood work is great. They don't have any crazy family medical history, whatever. I would not be surprised if someone just takes 100 milligrams or 200 milligrams of testosterone a week, maybe spread out over 3 injections, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're probably going to see a massive change, massive change in their physique. And they're getting, they might be able to gain, you know, 10, 15, 20 pounds their first cycle on the tiniest amount of stuff.
Yeah.
You're getting the most out of that, and you're limiting your exposure. You're limiting your amount of side effects that you could possibly get. And again, there's always risk. There's going to be those people that take the tiniest amount of stuff and get every goddamn side effect known there is. And there's other might take that much stuff and they're not going to gain anything out of it, you know?
Yeah. One thing I'll add to that is I think as you progress, I think some people try to progress a little too quickly with dosages. I was kind of the opposite, but and this isn't like a bragging thing, but like, from when I first started PED use in 2016 till my prep for this last national show, I had never ran my test over 500 to 700 milligrams a week. I built a pretty good physique off of what I would call moderate dose, right? Like, and I was gaining little bits every off season, running similar doses. It's that food and that training manipulates so much more than your dose of gear. And if
it's
you
also a
can,
genetic component too.
there's always a genetic component for sure. Not saying everybody can do that, but I'd like to, like you said, Chris, and everyone said, try and get as much out of as little as you can for as long as you can. And once those variables, your food has been bumped to as high as it can get for a year, your recovery is good, the gears, then you're like, all right, what variable can I change now? Let's go up 200 milligrams, but you can get a lot out of a pretty moderate dose for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll share a little story with
too
you guys. Oh, sorry, Doug.
I'm glad that we touch on these topics, and I've been saying a lot lately. One of the reasons why, for me, still being able to bodybuild in my 10th year is because I was never in a rush to be huge. And I think that is a problem in the bodybuilding community. And there's no knock on anybody, right? People see the front runners and the success stories, but they don't see the other side. For every Nick Walker, there's thousands of dudes who have tried to do that who unfortunately was do too fast, and they screw up their digestion, they screw up their body. Think of all of the people since you've been bodybuilding who you've seen and been like, holy fuck, he looks unreal. And now he's nowhere to be found.
Yep.
Nowhere to be found. And you want to get the most out of the least, and you want to be in this game as long as you can, because
if you start to overdose,
will always be there.
Yeah, because if you start to overdose, that's when you start to run into fucking problems, especially like heart, liver, all kidneys, like shit like that. It's going to shut down on you. And that's not something you want to experience, especially at a young age. It'll take you right out of the game. The key is patience, even when it comes to gear as well.
For sure. I think,
I advise people to not even think about PEDs, in my opinion, until, like you guys said, until you have been training consistently for 3 to 5 years, meaning you're eating your food every day, you're getting your sleep every day, you're training hard with intensity every day. Because once you start to take PEDs, that becomes more serious. You have to, I swear, I think I said it last time. If getting huge was as easy as just pinning your butt and lifting weights, everybody would be as big as Ronnie Coleman and Dorian Yates. There are a lot more factors that go into what we do. And I always tell people bodybuilding isn't healthy, but we try to do it as healthy as we can. And I feel like for me, I have an obligation to the younger generation and the not so knowledgeable people to, when I talk about these things, speak about what we do in a positive way, to let people know that you have to have patience. There's just no other way around it. If you don't have patience and you want to get huge really fast, you run the risk of screwing up your digestion, screwing up your body. And those are things that, you only got one body. We're all taking the risk, but we're trying to do it as best we can. And it sucks when I see guys Like, who's that guy who was supposed to compete at nationals and he couldn't?
Elliot.
Elliot.
What was his name? Elliot.
Elliot Ed Moreland or whatever his
Remember
name
him?
is. Yeah.
Did y'all lose?
Yeah.
I can still see
Yeah.
you. You're just frozen on my
Remember
screen.
him? He has competed. It's like you don't want to do anything that's gonna take you out of the game.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's about longevity, is doing things the safest way possible, because the most progress you're gonna see is the game is who can last the longest, honestly. You know, if you can last the longest doing this, you're gonna build the most muscle, you're gonna be the most conditioned. You're gonna win your pro card because you're outlasting people and your physique is improving. So just focus on those health markers. Take your time, and don't be stupid about it.
Yeah, make sure you're working
Choose
with somebody. Yeah, make sure you're working with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Don't go up to your jack dude in the locker room and ask him what his cycle is and if he can see you. Don't do that.
They're so fucking open about that right these days. They'll just walk up to you and be like, "Oh, what are you taking?"
Bro, kids do it all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Or because you're big, they just feel like they need to tell you what they're doing. They're like, I just started test in trend, and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Cool.
It pissed me off because
Man, somebody tells me
it was like last year I was on like an incline hammer press, and some 20-year-old kid that plays college football just walked up and he goes, literally right in front of probably like 10 people, don't even look like they're just there to go to the gym. Walks right up to me loud as shit, and he's like, "Hey, you look like somebody who's on growth hormone. Where can I get some?" And I looked right at him and I'm like, "Get out of my fucking face."
Yeah.
Like, dude, you just use your brain here. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was training a few years back at one of my old gyms, and this fucking skinny as a rail kid comes up to me and he's, "So, listen, I'm going to need you to get me some tests, some Primo." And I just looked at him and I go, "Dude, shut the fuck up." And he kept on. I'm like, "Dude, if you keep talking, I'm like, we're going to step outside." And I don't usually get like that with anyone, but he interrupted my workout and he's just saying that in front of all these people. And I'm just like, "Buddy, what's your malfunction? Are you broken in the head?"
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to do.
Yeah. Like, dude, like, you don't even look like you eat, you know?
At the end of the day, too, these drugs are illegal. You know, like
everyone's so nonchalant.
Yeah, like, you know.
I mean, people
if you want to have a conversation, introduce yourself, pull somebody to the side, or talk to them in private. You don't fucking start like blabbing, interrupting them in a workout. Like,
yeah, of course.
Shit like that. It happens too much.
So you know what I say to people when they ask me goofy shit like that? I'm like, "Yo, man, I need some crack. Ain't you the crack dealer?"
I do a similar thing. I always say, how's you and your wife's sex life?
Yeah,
like
I'm
it's
gonna
the same
ask
type
you
of
some
shit.
personal shit that I know you don't want to answer.
You jerk off in the shower?
Yeah.
Like, I need some coke, buddy. You got some coke?
You got any rocks?
Yeah, like, come on, guys. Like, but we live in a society now where people feel entitled to know everything about you.
Yes.
You know, it's like these prankster dudes. Like, I just seen DeMar DeRozan got into it with some guy because he's out at a restaurant and the guy pulls his camera out and sticks it in his face. And it's like, bro, do you not have no respect for people? Yeah. Like, are you that much of a groupie?
Yeah.
Like, you
it happened more and more. I saw it with a John Cena video.
It's like, bro,
how could they see him?
Yeah.
Chris is an asshole. I caught that. He said, "How did you see him?" Chris is silly as hell. No, but I just don't. It's like people feel like they should know everything about you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like for me, like, I'm married, but I don't really post my family that much. They don't like no attention. My daughter hates when people know her and she don't know you. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody's like, "Hey, you're Doug's son," she gets pissed. Like,
My best friend that's chilling in my living room right now, he's a professional arm wrestler. He has no social media at all. Wants nothing to do with it. He's just like he's known in the arm wrestling world as like this guy with a crazy hand. When he shows up, they're like, "Oh my god, he's here!" You know, he's kind of
Smart guy.
yeah. He's got this little mysterious shroud about him. He shows up and like, "Oh shit," But like he has no social media. He wants nothing to do with it. My parents. Besides, my sister does, but like my parents, no social media, nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
if I
wish I
wasn't
could say the same
bodybuilding,
thing. My mom's awful on social media.
yeah, I tell you
Like,
what.
she can text me. She messages me on Facebook Messenger. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, you're fucking 10 feet. You literally live right next door to me. You're in the in-law. Like, just walk over.
hey, have her send me a friend request.
You gotta love family members in social media. Man, I had to teach my mom how to use social media. I teach my mom everything. She's one of them old school. She don't even care for it. She likes it because she gets to see pictures of her grandkids and stuff like that, but she does not know how to. But my mom she doesn't know how to curse. She's one. You ever hear a lady who doesn't know how to curse when she's mad, but she'll curse?
Does she say like "son of a gun"?
Gosh darn it!
Yeah, she
son of a gun.
I had to beg my mom to just have one alcoholic drink with me for the Olympia. I'm like, Mom, and she's never been to Vegas. So I got my mom to come to Vegas, celebrate with me. It was a big, big moment for me.
That's dope. That's super dope.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, my parents are the same way. They don't do the social media thing at all. Even though I will say,
fucking
when we
lucky.
go someplace, me and Shay like to make these little videos like of our trip or something like that, like a little 2-minute highlight. And my mom really likes them. So now she does this really cute thing. She'll go on like walks and stuff, and she'll turn on her camera and she'll be like, "Yep, just out walking this trail today. Here's a nice bird in the tree." And then she'll send me the video. Like like she's like vlogging her life now. She doesn't post on social media, but she sends them to me. I think they're very funny.
Isn't that cool how we can do that? I remember, like, I explain social media to young people. Like, I try to teach them, like, you guys live in a time where you have your own channel. Yeah. And be careful how you use your channel, because it can be used for good and it could be used for bad. And that's the ironic thing about the internet. We talk about it all the time. There's so much out there. You don't know what's real and what's fake. But ultimately, if you're being yourself and you're not trying to be something that you're not, people will gravitate towards that. And if you're utilizing it for good, you just can create opportunities that our parents didn't have. Like even some current bodybuilders like David Henry started bodybuilding before social media. So he remembers bodybuilding where you had to get in a magazine. There were more difficult ways to become noticed as a bodybuilder as to now. Now you don't even have to do a fucking bodybuilding show, and you can call yourself a bodybuilder and get 100,000 fucking followers on the internet.
Road to Pro, future Mr. Olympia.
Oh my! Don't fucking get me started on those.
You know what I'm saying? But and look at football now. These kids can use their social media to create NIL deals in college and become millionaires before they become professionals.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So the internet has taken a whole new turn,
Yeah. You're not just trying to make somebody's top 10 on their MySpace anymore,
Yeah. Wow. They took it back.
That shit was fire.
That was the best part. You'd have like a fight with one. You'd have a fight with one of your friends. You'd call them up. You're like, "Hey, John, you're out of my fucking top 8." No!
Yeah. People get so butthurt if you move them from like fucking 5 to like 9. They're like,
That's
what happened?
crazy. I
One of
remember MySpace. I got in trouble on MySpace.
Oh,
The
bro.
only cool part about that is you had like your own profile music and everything.
Yeah, and you could have like you were like that's when you learned coding, like HTML coding. So you
Yeah.
could change like the background color, the font.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
You
y'all
would
are
have your own song. I'd always,
that.
it was always some Dipset was my song. It was something Dipset that was playing on my page. Oh, man. I love MySpace.
Yeah. Yeah,
MySpace was great.
I used MySpace. I remember when Twitter first came out, when Twitter was a thing in Pittsburgh, they started having these Twitter cookouts because that was like the first time you like start really interacting with people outside of your normal circle. And these cookouts used to be major, people would have their own tent set up, and it was like I think this was like 2008, 2009. And I remember the beginning of social media, and to see what it has become today is definitely crazy. I mean, with Chat GPT now, let's keep it a bean. Do we even need schools?
Yeah.
Like, do we
That's
need
gonna be
schools?
No, we do, because with all this information that is available for all of us to use on our phone, you still have a surplus of just retarded people out there that just don't know how
Yeah.
to read.
But what I mean is just like certain things, like if you want to know who the third president of the United States was, you could just fucking,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like certain things, I mean,
It's so much easier to cheat in school now because you got a phone
Oh,
than it
bro.
was back in the day. Bro, the way you had to cheat, see how Dougie's wearing the fucking hat? Oh, bro, the fucking answers were going on an index card taped right to that fucking
Yeah.
brim on the inside.
Yeah.
Take that brim right off, reading. I'm like, oh yeah, scratching my head, fucking read the answer right there.
We were never allowed to wear hats in school. We were not allowed to wear hats in
that's
school.
so
Like,
funny.
we'd have like a friend that would take the test.
We had
and,
to
like,
be creative.
memorize the answers, and like he'd give them to us. We'd take like one of those clear ballpoint pens and would write in really small, and like we'd put a piece of paper in there with all the answers to the questions that were multiple choice. We'd look at our pen and we'd do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had to be creative. I think we were the last generation of critical thinkers.
For sure.
I mean, how many people know how to use the card catalog or the Dewey Decimal System?
No,
Yeah.
none of these kids don't even write. They don't write in cursive no more.
Yeah, I don't even know how to
They
write
don't
in
do
cursive.
cursive.
I don't want to hear anyone complain to me when you can't even sign your signature. Can't even sign your name in cursive. I don't. You can't.
Fucking, the kids now would be like Billy Madison when they're like, he's like, he puts the fucking Z and like scribbles it. And he's like, those are Z's.
You guys remember when you had typing class? Did you have a typing where you had to learn to type?
Yeah,
I remember thinking at the time, I remember being like, yo, typing class is so fucking dumb. When am I ever going to type a paper? And now you type like all the time in life.
Yep.
All the time.
I always laptop now. Back then it was a fucking Apple computer with the fucking keyboard attached to the green screen.
I remember those. I remember those.
I'd finish my typing. I'd finish my speed typing lessons, and I'd just be playing like Cross Country USA, like the trucker game on the computer.
I mean, and our games were so trash back then, but to us, like when I see Tecmo Bowl now, I just shake my head. Like we used to tweak to play that every day, all day. And you see the football game today, and it looks like the real fucking players out there.
I still have the Tecmo Bowl sound effect like going in my head. Face down, hut. And then you pick Bo Jackson, just run the whole clock up, just going around.
I used to always play with Walter Payton, Sweetness. Chicago was my team.
Oh man,
bro! I remember I used to play FIFA 97, and when it came out after FIFA 96, I remember telling my mom, I was like, "Look how good the graphics are! Look how real the people look."
Yeah, right. But now, it's like, you ever seen a movie that you watched a long time ago? So you probably didn't, so I'll show some of my kids some of the old movies, and they make fun of it because the graphics are horrible, like disgusting. But to us, they were good.
Yeah. It's true. Oh man. All right.
I
This is
remember
a fun
playing NFL Game Day. Sorry, I'll let you go to your question. I can
Oh, no.
talk
Go
video
ahead.
games all fucking day.
Which game?
I was just saying, like NFL Game Day, like '97 or whatever, and it's like, dude, this is so realistic. How they would juke and spin, and like it would glitch and go like halfway across the field.
Yep. When Madden first came out, we used to have Madden tournaments when I was in college.
Yeah,
man. Madden was huge. And before 2K, it was NBA Live.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember,
yeah.
but NBA Live was the shit.
I still remember playing NBA Jam on Super Nintendo.
Oh, yes. The Knicks all day. Patrick Ewing and Starks.
Oh, I was a Jordan whore. I love Jordan and Pippen. You'd
Remember,
get the ball,
Jordan
and you'd
wasn't
shake
in
it
none of
like
those
this, and
games.
you'd knock people off.
Now, remember, there was just another player. Jordan wouldn't let them put him in the games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was Jordan and another guy that looked like
it would be an anonymous player. Jordan didn't play that shit. Imagine they that crazy. Now I just remembered that because
that's crazy.
he didn't let games put him in there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I just miss going to arcade games and you'd put your token up on the arcade game, like reserving your place in line.
Yes, sir. Bro, we used to have a house of pizza in my hometown, and it was the only place that had like arcades. That's where every birthday party was for like years, bro. Because you had your arcade games, your pinballs, your Pac-Mans, your Space Invaders, your NBA jams. I miss that.
The giant X-Men arcade game that the 6 of you guys could play, and you'd always be fighting over who doesn't want to get stuck with Dazzler. She sucked.
Okay, here we go. If you could only listen to one music group for the rest of your lifting career, who are you listening to?
That's bad.
One music group for the rest of my career?
Yeah.
Is it like just listening to music for the rest of my life anywhere, or is it just like
just where you lift? Just where you lift.
Oh, Perturbator, hands down, Perturbator.
That's Perturbator.
Yep,
I'm not familiar.
It's like dark synth techno. It's fucking so good.
All right, I'm gonna have to give it a listen.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's fun. It's good. I listen to that or Mega Drive a lot when I'm training. So,
are they like synth too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, I'm trying to think.
I'll go with Seven Dust.
Seven Dust?
Gosh. Really?
Yep.
We listen, but we don't judge.
We listen, but we don't judge. I've seen them videos panning around.
So
I was about to say, what about you?
Honestly, when I'm lifting, I don't listen to as much rap. Sometimes I do.
I mean, if it's a station, then I'm going like turbo, like 90s, 2000s rock.
Okay.
I like to call that stuff butt rock, like Godsmack, Limp Bizkit,
all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I still listen to it. I love Limp Bizkit.
I'm stuck between two. So I'm either going DMX because I love DMX for life, or I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of the band called Propane? They're like rock.
Yeah.
I love.
Okay,
Propane.
so it don't have to be a group. It could be my favorite artist.
Yeah, it could be your favorite artist
that I listen to in the gym.
Yeah, like you could pick Boys to Men if you want.
Jeezy, Young Jeezy.
Oh, Jeezy.
I got a Young Jeezy playlist.
Yeah.
I throw that thing on. It's Murder He Wrote.
Yeah. Jeezy's tough.
DMX goes hard as fuck though. I have so many DMX songs on my gym playlist.
Yeah,
his used to be like the shit that we played in like junior high school right before.
I still listen to his first
album. I was in 7th grade when I got It's Dark and Hell Is Hot album. That, my girlfriend at the time bought me for like my birthday.
Yep. He was the first artist to have 2 albums go platinum in the same year. Because remember, he dropped the first album in May, and then he dropped the second album in December.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well,
I
that's
remember
back
when
in
he
the day
came
when
out.
you
The
had to
hype,
actually purchase albums.
the hype with him when he came out was like he was the next
Huge.
Tupac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge.
He had a crazy sound. And he was deep, right? Like he wasn't the best lyricist, but his lyrics were deep and you felt them.
He was genuine. And I loved how he was the only dude, even Jay-Z said this. He was the only dude that could rap like the way he did with that aggressiveness and then get the whole stadium to say a prayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's deep. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like
For sure.
Jay-Z said he hated that tour when he was on with him because you couldn't go after him. He had to go last.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. I feel like that when I listen to, because I still go back and listen to X's albums. You know, you feel you're so aggressive, but at the same time, it's so spiritual because he'll say something at the end of a song, and you'll be like, "Damn!" Like, okay,
He's been through a lot, man.
Because
You
of
know what I'm
Courtney.
saying? And think about this. He was somebody who was addicted to crack cocaine
yeah,
damn near his whole career, and nobody ever knew it. Like the people closest to him knew it, but a lot of us outsiders, we didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
And it's
still had
like,
his teeth.
yeah, yeah.
oh shit, hold up. All right. His next question is: this is a good one. At what point do you switch coaches?
Ooh.
I think I'm a firm believer of sticking with the same coach for a while for them to learn your body. I would think like I actually had this conversation with a friend yesterday. He's been working with a very high level coach. I won't say his name. And I was like, "Hey, man!" And he competed yesterday at the Cutler. And I was like, "Hey, dude, look." I'm like, "I'm just saying this as a friend." I'm like, "You've been working with this high level coach for 3 years now. He has not nailed your conditioning. So either he does not care about you, or you're fucking off." So I'm like, so if you're not doing that, I think that if you've been working with a coach for a few years and like you're it's one thing if like you keep getting better and you keep getting bigger every year and you keep exceeding your prior best,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like it's sometimes the luck of the draw, like who shows up at your show, like you're not getting, but like if I think if you're working with a coach and he misses your peak like 100%, like a few shows in a row, or you're not getting better, you're not progressing and you're regressing, then I think it's time to get a different coach.
Those are
Agreed.
great answers.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think sometimes I don't believe in the coach hopping at all. I'm with you guys, and I think you should stay with a coach when it's a good fit. But I also where was I going with this point? Pass.
No, so to piggyback off what you're saying, the reason why I think the majority of us agree with staying with the coach long term is because, for one, like Chris said, you want your coach to learn your body, but I also believe a good coach is somebody that also listens to his client and who he's working with. And I've been fortunate to have a coach that genuinely cares about his athletes and will communicate with me. And, even when it comes to like certain machines, right? All right, you don't feel the connection on that machine. Let's try this one. Let's try this one, instead of being like, no, we're doing this machine, being a dictator. You want to have somebody that is a good fit for you mentally, and somebody that can learn your body with you and grow with you. It's like you said, if you're getting better every show but you're not winning, it's not your coach. It's other
It's the competition. It's people who are showing up.
But like Chris said, if you're not making progress every year and you're losing, then you might want to take a step back and have a conversation and some thoughts about that. But ultimately, I think people need to know that just because somebody has 100,000 followers doesn't mean they're a good coach or a bad coach.
I
Same.
just had this conversation with a new client.
Yeah, like
Just
that.
because
None
someone's a
of those things
pro doesn't
matter.
mean they're a good coach either.
Yeah, because we
All
see
they
it a
want to do
lot.
is take your fucking money.
Yeah, and I think that, because sometimes people go for the big name because of that, right? And then they don't realize that you're probably not working with that person if they are a big name like that, because we do know that there are some coaches who have other coaches underneath them, and they work how they work. You know what I'm saying? And
The other thing is,
I also think that if you can have a coach that is in your hometown, I think that is key. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody that you're able to at least spend some time with, So for me, I needed to have my coach with me because I had bad lifting mechanics. I didn't understand that just because I was strong, that didn't have anything to do with me building muscle. Because I can press 200-pound dumbbells, but I'm using my whole body to try to press that. So I needed somebody to teach me how to lower my weight, drop the ego at the door, pin your shoulders down, don't let your shoulders come up, so your chest is working more than your delts. You know what I'm saying? And I know I wouldn't have learned those things had I not been with somebody who can teach me that. Because I worked out a couple of guys before in the first. I'm strong, and I'm like, I know you're strong, but building muscle is different than being strong. Being strong can help you if you're connecting. If you're not connecting, it's not helping you. So when it's time to change a coach, I think that's something that you would know.
Yeah.
I do hate the coach hoppers who lose a show and then just go get another coach, and then they lose the next show and then they go get another coach. It's like at that point, it's not the coach.
Yeah. Facts.
It's not the
I
coach.
remember what I was going to say. It's I think sometimes competitors get a little, you get with a coach or a high level coach or a coach that puts out pros or a good product. And I think sometimes younger competitors can get a little intimidated. At the end of the day, and I'm a coach, we're all coaches here, it's your bodybuilding career and you need to get what you want out of it. And if that's not in line with the coach that you're with the wrong coach.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There is a chemistry between coach and client, and I think that needs to be in line as well.
I've had that conversation with Mike before. I called him and I'm like, even if you're clicking with somebody, but they don't want to go in the direction that you want to go in, it's like, that's when you need to make a decision.
Yeah.
But it's like full circle. Like, I really think that like 85% of people, like coaches that do coach, they don't give a fuck about their athletes. They could care less.
Yeah, they don't.
With the way I've always approached things, and I came from like a coaching swimming background and coaching kids from like 6 to 18. I handle it the same way I handle it with clients that are, even up to 60 years old that I coach. I don't care. Like, my job is to know you as a coach and what makes you tick and what makes you become a better athlete. So it works out for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to be 100% honest, transparent. And those, no offense, but those 85% of the coaches, they just want this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a fuck about you or your health.
Mm-hmm.
And the first priority for me or any of my clients is to make sure that they are healthy first and foremost, before anything. And some of these coaches won't require blood work or anything like that. They'll just smack them on gear, smack a shit ton of food down their throat. They don't give a fuck. It is what it is. That's the way they look at it. As long as they get the W and they look good, I'll repost them. They got the W, and then 2 days later they're in the hospital and their coach is nowhere to be fucking found.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Pick wisely who you're working with.
Yep.
I just wanted to say I got to leave in about 5 minutes, so just wanted to give you guys.
Yeah, I think you just need to pick wisely of like who you choose to work with, because at the end of the day, you can look at it and be like, would they like kind of take the approach of would they show up would they be at your funeral at the end of the day? Like, that's kind of how you have to look at it in this sport. You know what I mean? Like, if something happened to you today, would they just be like, fuck it and move on? Or would they be like, holy shit, I just lost an athlete. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, there's like, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Like, if you don't care about your athletes as a coach, then you're in the wrong sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
No,
But we all know that there
I
are
agree.
coaches out there that don't give a shit, and it's just about the money. So
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I started coaching. You know what I mean? Like I love my coach to death, man, because I'm thankful for that I found him, bro. Like, because when I tell you when I first started, before I got with him, I had a coach who had horrible communication skills. So then I just said, fuck it. And I was one of those guys that was just winging shit. I didn't know what I was doing, how I was using shit, but I was just doing it. And my buddy Mike Cuddy was like, yo, man, I know somebody you should talk to, man, because I was getting close to that next show. And I'm like, man, I'm about to do my third show with no coach. I know I need a coach. And boy, thank God I found him. You know what I mean? Because he always made sure he's not just telling me what to do, he'll tell me why, you know. And I think I told you guys before, after I went to Georgia and I drove down to Georgia and I drove back, and I remember him saying, all right, before we make plans to move forward, you got to get blood work done. And I remember being pissed. Like, why the fuck is you telling me to get blood work done right now? Like, in my mind, I'm like, well, we're doing the North Americans regardless. He's like, nah, better safe than sorry, dude. He's like, we got to make sure you're fine before we move forward for North Americans. And he wasn't taking no for an answer. You know what I'm saying? So to have somebody like him around for me has been huge. And I know he's played a major role in me being able to have this longevity that I'm currently having in the sport of bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? And consistently progressing, you know. So everything you guys are saying is so true. And I want people to hear that story from me, because I was one of those guys that was using shit and I didn't know what I was doing, because the coach I had prior to me wasn't teaching me shit. It was just, here, take this, get that. There was no get blood work. You know, in 8 to 10 weeks, you need to go dump blood, and then explain to me why I need to go dump blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many things that people are doing, and they're with the wrong people, and they're not getting the proper information to do this shit healthy. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. And like I said, I picked up a kid just this past week who had a coach telling him to do shit and not telling him to do the necessary shit. And it's just like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, I wish he had caught me earlier, but I'm glad that he caught me now, so that, you know, I could give him the game the right way.
But you can also tell you're a good coach too, even just based upon your story that you had yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Your guy won the overall in OCB and men's physique, and he won his pro card. Dude, you were more excited than he was. And that's like, as a coach, that's what you want. Like, that,
absolutely.
You want your coach to be like, fuck yeah, look, I get more excited for my clients than I do for my own self-success.
Facts. Yeah. Yep. Speaking of clients, Chris Fine had some nice words to say about you, Doug, on Beatty's podcast.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's my guy, man.
Chris Fine's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been helping him with his posing, trying to help hold him accountable. You know, he was somebody, I thought he was a pro until I got to know him. You know what I'm saying? He's freaking huge, big as fuck. But I seen him just doing some posing, you know what I mean? And, you know, I just reached out to him and I was like, look, man, I think you got what it takes. I'd love to help you with your posing. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he helps light that spark and that fire in me too. You know what I'm saying? Checking on me every week. So, you know, man, that's dope to hear that he has some cool words to say about me, Max. He's a good dude, man. And I'd love to see him get his pro card. You know, him telling me his story and a lot of things that he's been through, you know, if he's able to get his pro card this year, that'd be an amazing thing, man. So shout out to Chris, man. I appreciate those kind words, good brother.
For sure. He's been right there so many times. He's one of those ones that's just knocking on the door.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like doing another one. Really.
Yeah. I mean, and he's determined. He wants it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got pictures from our first posing session, and I told him I'm gonna hang on to these till we get close, and just so that he could see the difference of when you take posing serious and all the nuances that go along with it, how much it just helps your physique. You know, we saw Derek do some different things this year at the Arnold. You know what I'm saying? With his posing, you know what I mean? So, you want to be able to enhance your strengths and hide your weaknesses as best you can. You know what I'm saying? It's just bodybuilding.
Yep. That's it.
All right, guys, I do have to go.
Yeah, you
All
good, big
right.
dog?
Unfortunately, but it was a pleasure. Love you guys as always.
See you
Yes,
next
sir.
week.
Love you back, brother.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
sounds good.
All right, bye.
Yeah. I think like all those important, like all those things that line up like with coaching, it just you see it so much. You see like that such negative shit going on with some of these coaches and the athletes, and something will like health wise happen to an athlete, and then all of a sudden the coach disappears, and it's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yep. No, I see it a lot.
Yeah.
That's better. Oh shit. Anybody else got any cool shit going on?
No, man, I'm just waiting for this Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying? And then the New York right after, man.
What are we?
Yep.
What are you, 3 weeks out? 2 weeks out?
2 and 3.
Shit.
Yeah, man. I'm excited though, man, with everybody that's coming in, and the fitness festival. Access Ledge is gonna have a booth. You know what I'm saying, man? It's gonna be it's gonna be super dope. You know what I mean? They're bringing everybody here like they normally do. You know what
You
I'm
look
saying?
fucking lights out, dude.
Yeah, you do.
I appreciate it, man. Doing my best to come in right. You know what I'm saying?
Are you gonna work the booth too, or are you?
Yeah, I'll be at the booth.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I just gotta get I don't know if it's Friday and Saturday or if it's just all day Saturday. I gotta look at the website.
Do they still do the amateur portion at all?
Yeah, so
Or
they're
not?
gonna do the amateur portion at 9, but the amateur portion is natural. So there's
Oh,
no more Mr. Pittsburgh amateur.
dang.
Okay.
Yeah, they got
No
rid of
shit.
it. Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, the fucking natural circuit for NPC is going to take over, because I was talking,
yep.
Mike, I was talking to Jim yesterday, who's doing that. What is it? Where are they doing that show, in Rhode Island or Mass or something? They're doing it in Mass.
Okay.
And they already have 65 people registered for that natural show.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and at the Pittsburgh, the natural competitors can earn their IFBB Pro card. So now,
Oh shit.
yeah, so now they have the Ben Weeders in the DMV, and then now the Pittsburgh. So those will be the two natural shows for natural competitors to get their IFBB cards.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So the IFBB is now just gonna have like a natural division, like a natural Olympia, all that.
I don't know if they're going to do a natural Olympia. I would think that, I guess maybe depending on how things go.
I think
But
that's eventually their goal.
yeah, I think it will, because I mean, you know what? It's even bodybuilding, bro. Like amateur bodybuilding shows, everybody's moving into the classic. They don't want to eat. They don't want to grow their legs. I mean, and it's no knock or no shade on anybody that competes in other divisions, but bodybuilding is definitely becoming scarce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I would
it is
definitely
what it is.
like. I felt like I went to WMBF Worlds. I would love to see some of those guys transition to NPC, because they can do some fucking damage.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I think they would help grow the business a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool, you know, for those people who don't, you know, want to use PEDs. You get you an opportunity to have you a nice show and get your pro card and compete as a pro. The IFBB pro card, that's hard to get if you're a natural or enhanced. You know what I'm saying?
It's not easy at all.
Yeah, so it's mad respect to anybody who can do that. You know.
Yeah, and anyone who's ever, trust me, anyone who's ever competed naturally, and I know it for a fact too, like doing a prep naturally and trying to get skinless is not fucking fun.
No.
It's not
That's where
fun.
people think getting abs is easy, man. People be like, "Oh, I'll just lose 20 pounds. I'll get abs." Shit.
Don't get me wrong. Like prep in general is difficult,
Yes.
but it's way harder doing it naturally than it is.
Yes.
I will tell you that
Especially the
for a fact,
older
and
you
I've been
get.
through it.
You know what I'm saying? That's why my homie yesterday, he's 40. I think he just turned 40, and he's one of those guys that people would they assume he's on. So that's why he did the OCB show. It was
Yeah.
funny too. So I ran over to him trying to give him a hug after, right? They was like, no, 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 not yet, not yet. Because he had to go, he had to go straight back and take his drug test.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I'm
do the
saying?
urine test. They don't let you leave without doing
Yeah,
it.
no, he had to go back there and take that test. But yeah, man, for him to be at his age and to get peeled like that, you know what I'm saying? I told him that, like, yo, like most people, but it's funny because he went through every emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like throughout this whole time, he's had so many days where he wanted to just quit throwing the towel, and I'm like, bro, that's what it's about. You're gonna have those moments. You're gonna feel like, why am I doing this? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
me, that's the fun part, is coming out on the other side
That's
victorious.
right.
Like, I did it. It
Yep.
was extremely difficult, but I did it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Big
That
facts.
feeling's addicting. Yeah, the feeling's addicting.
It really is.
it's why
Fuck,
it's why it's
20
why I
shows
say
later, I'll
that.
fucking tell you it's addicting.
Yeah. Because right now, I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck, man. Like we went to Boston. I was like, man, I would give anything to be able to just go out for sushi tonight. But like, shit, I'll have sushi in, 13, 14 weeks.
Bro,
It is what it is.
took my wife and kids to the
Sushi train
movies.
in
They
Texas.
getting popcorn, nachos, you know what I'm saying, candy and shit, and I got my water.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
did I want to eat some nachos and some fucking popcorn and all that shit? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I thrive off of that. It's
Yeah.
like I'm at that point in my life
Motivates
now
you
where,
more.
yeah, it's like, ooh, I ain't eat that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I be proud of myself. Cause
Yeah.
at one point I was fat as hell eating every goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I know this, maybe this is like a sociopathic thing, but like, I love doing shit that other people can't fucking do.
Facts. Me
I
too.
love that.
Me too.
I love
We're
that.
the rare breeds, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I say that to myself before set sometimes. One of my things is time to do shit nobody else wants to do. Like,
I seen a reel where this lady was talking about, if you want to live a prosperous life, do all the hard things. And I'm like, I think that is so true, because it's so easy to just get up when you feel like it, go to work late, eat whatever you want. Like, that's easy to do. It's not easy to get up in the morning 2 hours earlier so you could work out or go do some cardio or read, make up your bed, get your food for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to work, then go to the gym, then go home, prepare your food for the next day. Like, those are hard things to do. And
yep,
this is why the average person doesn't do these things.
yep.
No
You know
drive,
what's
no
great?
motivation.
You know what's crazy about that though? I think you posted the story too, Doug. As it was that guy talking about how he went to the most beautiful scenic place he ever went. It was like in a mountain.
Yeah.
And he was like, he showed it to his mom after, and his mom said, it's really amazing that you got to see that because most people will never be in physical shape they can
To
get
do
to
that.
see that scene. And
That you
that,
reposted that, didn't you, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I saw that video.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that resonated with me so much. It made me think about it this way is like people who, and I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder, but just be
Yeah.
physically aware of what shape your body is in. Most people can't go on a hike.
Yep.
Most people can't, walk the Great Wall of China. People just can't physically do these things because they've never learned how to eat correctly, exercise minimally, all these things, and they're missing out on so much in life. And that's not bashing people. I'm not trying to bash people and say you suck at life because
Yeah.
you don't
No.
go to the gym. I'm just
No.
saying that there are things in life that you can experience and get to see strictly because you care enough about your own personal body.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people miss out on that. That's sad. That's sad.
And that's because it's not a cultural thing here in America.
Yeah.
When you look at Japan, exercise is a cultural thing for them, right? That I seen this reel where this guy was talking about, there's some countries where there's no market for Ozempic.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
no market for Ozempic because those people eat less processed foods. They exercise, right? And I love when we say that, people look at us like, I don't want to look like you. And I'm like, you'll never look like me. You can try to look like me, you'll never look like me. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't care if you ride a bike. I don't care if you go hiking. I don't care if you take an aerobics class. You should be doing something physically that should be a part of
rather
your
than
routine.
relying on a pill or a shot to get you to that fucking point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something. It's like, if you got a dog, like some people I know got dogs, so they got to walk.
Yeah. Just get out.
Nothing wrong with that. Walking is so underrated. I tell people that. If you see me running, that means you need to be running too. Because I ain't running. I ain't running. You know what I'm saying? I'll walk. But, you never want to be in a situation where you need to be strong and you can't.
Yeah.
I love saying that to people because that means you're taking life for granted, in my opinion.
Yep.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Facts.
I think you just hit it right there.
No, I think so too. I think that was like, that's it. That's the pod. Pod's over.
That's the pod right there,
it.
dude. The way he just ended it right there. That was
That's it. That's the pod.
I felt like that was like our Paul prayer right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey man,
That's
I love
it.
you guys, man. Straight up, man. I
Yes,
love
sir.
getting on here every week, man, with you guys.
Yeah, like we said in the group chat, and I'm sorry for people listening, but we got a group chat. Like for me, this what we do weekly is the coolest shit ever because it's just a chance to get closer with a group of guys that all have similar mindsets.
Yeah.
And I personally don't care if this podcast ever becomes popular because I just enjoy
exactly
the time that I get to spend with you boys. So
Facts.
that means a lot.
We're not doing it with an ulterior motive. We love bodybuilding. We're building a friendship and relationship. We're keeping in touch with each other, talking about different topics every day. You know what I'm saying? And to me, the genuine things always win.
Yeah. Facts.
Oh yeah. I'll put this up against anybody, like I told you, boys.
We'll hold our own.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys.
All right, fellas.
All right, boys, have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Great night.
All right.